Once in a while, a series of events align just right and something radically new becomes possible. My company has discovered that a new law, combined with a new set of technologies and driven by a powerful market demand, has created just such an opportunity. Inspired by this insight, we've engineered a new model of finance, and now we're using it to consolidate the entire small business funding market. My name is Ben. I'm the CEO and co founder of the San Francisco Stock Exchange. Today, large corporations raise their funding on public exchanges, but not small businesses. Since 1933, it's been unlawful for them to raise capital from the general public. This means for the last 80 years, small businesses have had access to one funding source, namely private funding channels, private equity for startups, and a lot of bank loans for small businesses. Until now. Last year, a new law called Title III went into effect, which allows small businesses to raise up to $1 million a year from the general public. Now, today everybody's still talking about Title III as equity crowdfunding. Actually, that's short-sighted. We discovered that you could use the new legal space cleared out by Title III to create the world's first small business public capital market. Convertible notes and stocks for startups, yes, but bonds for small businesses. A lot of bonds for small businesses. Now, why do we need this? What problem does it solve? First is the problem of supply. At the same time that small business funding needs are growing, regulation is forcing banks out of the small business loan market. Second is the problem of demand. Millennials increasingly do have a lot of investable wealth, and yet since 2008 they have an aversion to legacy finance. So the question is, who's going to consolidate this $2.6 trillion market, and what role will millennials play? Well, the answer is a public capital market, and Title III now gives us the regulatory arbitrage to do it. In the future, small businesses will no longer be taking out loans from a bank. Instead, they'll be issuing bonds on the San Francisco Stock Exchange. And millennials will invest in these businesses because they'll be getting a good return on their investment while also helping to create a new kind of financial system, one that they've built, one that they own, one that creates the kind of world that they want to live in. So that's what the San Francisco Stock Exchange is. It has a primary market where the securities get issued and a secondary market where they can be traded. And what we provide is the technology stack and the financial services platform that supports this small business public capital market. We've re-engineered all of the financial services that have traditionally been performed by investment banks, but now to serve the needs of our own customers. Underwriting, risk modeling, transaction settlement, brokerage services, asset management, and so on. It's a new era of financial services and specifically designed for those people who since 2008 have been searching for a viable alternative to legacy finance. So we're a white space business model, but we do have competitors. Today, small businesses go to banks and non-bank lending platforms. The problem with a bank loan is it's a long, slow, friction-filled process. Now, it is faster on a non-bank lending platform, but their borrowing rates are too high. We, however, provide both the good borrowing terms of a bank loan and the easy underwriting process of a non-bank lending platform. On the other hand, our target investors are going to crowdfunding platforms and investment platforms. Well, the problem with a crowdfunding platform is there's only equity, there's no fixed income, and there's no secondary liquidity. Okay, so you buy the security and then there's nowhere to sell it. Now, investment platforms do address some of these problems, but they don't speak to millennials' aversion to legacy finance. The San Francisco Stock Exchange is the first investment platform that does. You can create your own wealth while building a better world. Let's talk about where we're at. We built the first smart contract-driven securities auction, and we put it on our mobile app. Our platform is up and running on our own private Ethereum network, and we're going live out of beta in this September. Our SAM is big, our TAM is huge, and we've put together a team and a business model that's equipped to take it all. So let's talk about our team. Umesh, starting from the bottom, Umesh is an architect at different messaging platforms, gaming platforms, and casino apps, and he's an expert in smart contracts. AJ was a developer, a senior developer at the National Stock Exchange, OTC derivatives. He's been in finance for over 7 years, and he's an expert in financial algorithms. Bhavish has been architecting mobile banking platforms for RBC, TD Bank, and others for the last 8 years. He's an expert in mobile app technologies. Raphael was a VP of tax at Goldman Sachs. She's a member of the New York Bar, and she's been in the financial services industry for over 10 years. She's an expert in financial risk modeling. Niraj has been architecting blockchain and distributed ledger architectures at R3, RBC. He's an expert in payments and smart contracts, and he's architecting the basics of the platform. My background is also in finance and fintech, obviously. But my deal is I've spent the last 10 years trying to figure out how to build the world's first small business public capital market, and now we're doing it. We're building the San Francisco Stock Exchange, and finance is evolving.